Well, if you legislate in this area and you give preference to recycled material, then you'll help those subsidy markets, those commodity markets to raise value based on kind of supply and demand economics. If you undermine them by providing subsidies to the exact opposite, to the mining of virgin raw materials, then you won't. And it's interesting in the plastic space, which is getting a huge amount of attention right now. There's been a lot of good legislation in North America, in OECD and the EU for requiring non-virgin plastic resins in the production of new line plastic products. And there are these companies like Plastic Bank and Thread, and they've actually trademarked the term social plastic. But if we can just use it anecdotally here, it's exactly the same thing that the Fairtrade Foundation did to bananas and coffee in the 1990s. And they just said, listen, this market can't survive by itself. You know, the most successful recycling programs in the world of any type of commodity and any supply chain are heavily subsidized by public governments because they want to make their citizens feel good about themselves. But on their own merit and their own right, it's almost impossible to make money, you know, with the opportunity costs being and labor costs being as high as they are. So you need to provide some artificial prop up, you know, and Fairtrade Foundation did that with bananas and coffee very good. It asked the upper middle class consumers in Europe and America to pay 5 cents more for a coffee. It used a very simple macroeconomic theory of ring fencing those funds, and then it subsidized beyond, you know, the national legislated minimum wage in Nicaragua and Colombia, what farmers would make. And it's exactly the same thing happening now with plastic and paper products, because you realize that even in developing economies like Kenya and South Africa, the waste pickers, even at you know an opportunity cost of something like $10 per day, don't see it worthwhile to collect the plastic because the commodity market for plastic is all over the place and too inconsistent for them. So you need to kind of create this artificial structure through legislation. You need to kind of provide a requirement for these markets to exist because they won't exist naturally by themselves.